All right. It's 5 o'clock. We're going to start Watch Me Work. I'm SLP Thayas here from HowlRound slash New Work Development, but it's so exciting. We're here, we're happy. It's the month of May, and we're going to do what we do every time we get together. We're going to work together, and then I'm going to take questions from you about your work and your creative process. We're going to work together for 20 minutes. And in the Q&A part, while we don't have time for you to read from your work or show your artwork or do your choreography, we do have plenty of time to talk shop and talk process. So if you would like to ask a question in 20 minutes after the work together time, Thayer, you want to tell them how to do it, or is that
Yeah,
we're
I can
doing
do
it?
that.
Come on,
Absolutely.
girl. Come on, Hal, come on.
All
Let's go.
right. Oh, it's like back in the old days. Um,
Yeah.
if you would like to ask a question, you can go down to the bottom of your screen and hit the react button, and then go ahead and raise your hand. Hit that raise hand button, and I will call on you. I will ask you to unmute. You can go ahead and unmute, ask your question. Um, and then we'll move on to the next person once SLP has given her wonderful response.
Right on, right on. Okay, here we go. We got 20 minutes on the fabulous timer, and we'll begin now. Okay, we're back. We're back. So now is the time that we take questions from you about your work and your creative process. And if anybody has a question, I think Thea will unmute them. You. Let's see.
Don't see anybody in here yet. Just a reminder, you can go down to the bottom, hit react, and then hit raise hand to raise your hand. Oh, and we have one.
Hey, Lauren.
Lauren, why don't you go ahead and unmute?
Thank
So,
you. Thank you, Pam. Excellent.
I I want to ask in your process and
Mhm.
you're looking things over and maybe you're editing or you're rewriting something but or you're just writing something. And do you ever get kind of not kind of like not frustrated, but a little peeved at how long it could take to get a certain part the way you want it to be?
Oh no, I never get peeved. Yeah, I know. We all laugh. Ha 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 ha. Of course. Of course. Do you get peeved? Do you find yourself getting a little near at yourself when it's taking more than 5 seconds to turn out brilliantly?
Right.
Sure. Sure. So what do you do when that happens?
I I I keep remembering that that's all right. It's practice. All that stuff that I've written that I like, no, that's let me just think that out. Or it may work, and I'm like, okay, I think that's what I wanted to accomplish. But it's practice. It's like a great musician practice. You have to practice. You have to practice, and that's
Exactly.
it's not wasted. It's fruitful. It's part of the whole process. And you learn from it. It's great. You learn from it.
Right.
It's
Very
wonderful.
well said. How brilliant you are, Lauren. Thank you for adding that. As I listen in my ear, and sometimes the practice doesn't always sound good. I'm listening to my son playing the violin, and it's a tricky thing. But here he
Yeah,
is.
I
He
mean,
sounds pretty good. But
exactly.
yes, you're right. Sometimes the practice doesn't sound good. Sometimes the practice doesn't read well. It doesn't flow nicely. It doesn't flow at all. Nah, it's awful.
Right, right,
I could say. But yeah, you just keep showing up.
okay.
You, you learn, and yeah, give your opportunity. Just like you said. I mean, Lauren, you brilliant answer to a wonderful question. You keep giving yourself an opportunity to grow and learn from your practice because your practice is your teacher.
Right, right, exactly. Teacher. That's it.
Mhm.
That's it.
Practice
Exactly.
is your teacher.
It,
Hmm.
I mean, Vladimir Horowitz didn't sit down and start playing like that when he practiced every day, I'm sure, every day that he
Exactly.
physically could, you
And
know.
after he became Vladimir Horowitz, the one we know and love and respect. He still had awful practices. Sure,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
all the
Oh yeah. I'm
time.
sure he did. I'm sure he did.
Hmm.
Yeah. But it just didn't sound the way he wanted it to sound, how he
Exactly.
envisioned it or heard it, you
Exactly.
know.
Because he keeps reaching, he keeps reaching, he keeps reaching, he keeps reaching.
Yeah. That's part of being an artist. You're always on a quest, some sort of quest. You can't even define it some days. You're like, I'm on a quest. And it's not funny like in Vacation with a quest to go to the theme park, and they get crazy.
Right.
This is not kind of it's serious, this is serious.
But it can
Art
be
is important.
but it can be fun. Can it not be fun, Lauren? Can your quest have like some joy in it? I mean, does it all have to
Yeah,
be like nose to the grindstone? Oh my God, I'm on this quest. Is it?
yeah,
It's not like that all the time, is it for you?
yeah. You have to have fun too.
Yeah, I mean, we watch. What are they? What are they? I mean, I know they're the Monty Python versions of those nights, but they look like they were having real fun on the quest for the Holy Grail or whatever they were doing in the forest. You know, quests can be fun, you know? So enjoyable anyway.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's what the stage was, finding the joy in it.
Mm,
Just finding fun in it. Oh, okay. I could do this. Yep. Okay.
mm, exactly. Who's got a question? Who's next? Thank
Right,
you,
I
Lauren. That
think
was
we have Seema up next.
great.
You'd like to
Awesome.
unmute?
Thank you so much. And thanks, SLP, for telling me about these sessions last week when we met, or maybe the week before. I have a question about being halfway through a play, getting
Mhm.
really stuck, and doing the things that I usually do to get unstuck, leaving it alone, walking away, working on another project, coming back, like plotting out character development, and just nothing is kind of getting me out of this rut. And I do have deadlines that
Uh-huh.
I have to get unstuck soon. And I'm just wondering what works for you or what advice you might have if when you're in that position.
So you it sounds like you've done everything, uh, all the things.
Feels like it, but I might there must be something else. How do I get back into this? And
You did character development. Name the things again. You did character development. What
the
else?
first thing I did was just like leaving it alone, walking away, working on other
Right,
projects, reading a
right.
lot of other plays, reading adjacent things, then
Uh-huh.
trying to come back into it and just like plotting out my characters a lot more, or even going back into their backstories.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still
So,
stuck.
so what's hard? I mean, what's sticking? Why are you sticking? You don't know what you don't like what you're doing, or you don't know what you're doing.
When I talk it out with someone, my dramaturge or a friend, I can be like, and then this happens next, and then this happens next, and probably this happens next. When I go to write it, it doesn't, I can't write it. And people are like, well, just write the thing that you said. But then when I go to write, what I had thought would be the next beat just doesn't feel like the right thing.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever had someone, how are you with doing what people tell you to do?
Depends what mood I'm in.
Mm, interesting. Okay. Um, well, great. Might we say the same thing of your characters then?
Mm,
Right? So if you're
yeah.
telling them like you're going, and then they do this and then they do this, your character's like, fuck you. Excuse my language, but really. Like really? I mean,
Mhm.
depending on what mood they're in. If they were amenable to what you were suggesting, then you wouldn't be stuck. So they're probably saying some version of, really? I mean, come on. I don't know about that. They're resisting your suggestions for what they should do next. Why don't you ask them what they're doing? You know what I mean? So ask them for, get this, because plot, a lot of people think, and not that you're suggesting this, but a lot of people think that, there's the characters and then there's the plot. You know, you know what I mean? And plot is just whatever the characters are doing. And to know what the plot is, you have to, maybe you don't know them well enough. And I'm not suggesting backstory, which is kind of separate from, it's kind of adjacent, but like talk to them. Like, what are you doing? What would you do next? As if they're a friend, you know? Like get in there more instead of like looking at them and telling them what to do. Not that you're doing this. I'm just kind of, oversimplifying, you know? Um, but does that help? Like kind of get in there with them, like talk to them, like, hey, what are you doing right now? Why don't you do what I say? Don't you like my ideas for you?
Hmm.
You know,
Okay.
treat,
So just
treat them like a
talk to
friend would
each.
treat you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to kind of get in there a little bit more instead of like, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this, you know.
Thank you for that. Anything
Yeah.
that helps you facilitate those conversations when you're talking to your characters?
Well, like if they're a friend of yours, what's going on with you? Talk to them like a person
Okay.
instead of like a dramaturg.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I know, all praise all dramaturgs, they're all great, but really, characters sometimes like are like, really? Why are you talking to me like that? Because if you think about dramaturgy, a lot of it is based on plays that are already written. Is that right? I don't know. I don't know. I didn't, Like a lot, they like play analysis. What's play analysis? I'm just going on a limb here. I'm making this up as I go along. Play analysis. You read like, I don't know, just think of a Long Day's Journey into Night, right? And you read it and you analyze it, right? You take it apart. It's
Mm-hmm.
like dissection, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dissection. Dissection, let's say dissection is performed on something that is
Fully formed.
fully formed.
Mm-hmm.
Dissection is performed on something that is also
Usually dead.
dead, right? So they might be a little resistant to a certain
Mm-hmm.
kind of questioning because it assumes that they're fully formed and or
Mm-hmm.
dead. And if they're
Wow.
alive, they need to be talked to like someone you would talk to, who like we're talking right now.
Yeah.
So it's just a different way of talking to your characters, maybe.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We'll see if that works. We'll try.
Yeah. I'll let you know. Thank you.
Thank you. Great question.
All right, next up we have Jimena. You'd like to
Human.
unmute?
Hi.
Hi.
Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can hear you all right. Sorry, I'll raise my voice too. I tend to shrink, but
You're all good. Thank you.
thank
So my question is, what are some potential first steps a person can, look towards in drawing a line between all of like the elements and layers that you want to implement in like a story? Like what happens in terms of like prioritization? You know what I mean? Because I feel like yeah. I actually I'll leave the question at that. Yes.
no. So what? Oh, yeah. How do you? Yeah, I don't understand your question. I don't. But I know it's a very smart question, and you're very smart. So say it again for me. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, Jimena. Can you unmute yourself? No? No?
Oh, sorry. I have to be asked to be unmuted. Okay, awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
So I guess like for a project that I am kind of like only in like the very, very beginnings of,
Okay.
it's a question of like how do I draw a line between like questions of like assimilation and like belonging and also like playing God and hierarchy and like where do you begin to like prioritize all of these different elements and like I feel like sometimes you have to really like dig deep to get into like certain layers of a piece. And it's
Hmm.
like, how do you know which layers you want to be kind of more at the forefront and which ones you want to be more on like a like deeper level, if that makes sense.
Wow. Wow. So it sounds like, I mean, maybe I hope I understand what you're talking about. Sounds like you're writing something from uh on a theme. Is that correct? Because belonging, hierarchy, right. So some people, is it something that when it's finished will include characters?
Well, yes, probably.
Oh, okay, because I couldn't tell by the question. Because it kind of sounds like it could also be an essay, a very brilliant, op-ed piece or something. Right. Oh, and you're saying, no, 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 no.
No,
This would include
no.
characters. Okay, great. So we can get excited about who we're going to be hanging out with, right? I mean, if you're going
Mhm.
to a party, right? You're not going to be like going to the party like that, talking about hierarchy and whatever, all those other very brilliant things you were talking about. You're going to be like, who's going to be there? What are we going to talk about, right? What snacks are there? You're going to think more about the people who you would like to hang out with, or the people who you would like your reader or your audience to hang out with. For the moment, let go of these other things you were mentioning. Know that they're going to be there because that's what's interesting to you. But I would, if your piece is going to include characters, I would embrace the characters first, because then you're not writing a series of talking points. You're talking to me about people who are interested in the things that you're interested in. You see what I mean? So what
Yeah.
might be the name of one of your characters? We'll just play a game.
Oh, I have actually no idea. I feel like it would definitely have to be something like symbolic for what I'm trying to write.
Just pretend you
I
know.
think to
For
like
fun.
pretend I
Come on.
know.
Yeah, pretend you know.
Adam. Adam.
Come on. Adam?
Mhm.
Great. Did you say Adam?
Mhm.
Adam? Fantastic.
Oh my
Adam.
gosh, hold on. My headphone fell out. No, hold on.
What happened?
So sorry. Their headphone fell out. I've
That's
been
it.
having troubles with these headphones this whole time. I'm so sorry.
It's
Okay,
fine. It's fine. We could hear you just fine. So
I'm good
Adam,
now.
okay, fantastic. What's another character?
This is so on the nose, but oh, probably like Eva, EVA, Eva.
Eva. Eva. Great.
Mhm.
Okay. And there they are. And what are they doing?
Well, I want to think that they're the last two people on Earth.
Fantastic. So, what are they doing?
Um, so I would say that they are in a situation where they have to like I don't know if it's like procreate, but it's like they have to be with each other. But Ava definitely has like reservations or like a strong desire against because of like her beliefs about Adam.
Okay, great. Great.
Mhm.
So they're sitting around thinking about procreating.
They're probably not sitting around. They're definitely in like an actual situation, but I
They're
don't
in an
know what
actual
it is yet.
situation. Like what? Pretend like you know.
Okay.
Like anything. What are they cooking
Yeah.
dinner? Gardening?
They're at a amusement park. They're at an amusement park.
At an amusement park. Fantastic. And how's electricity? I mean, is it like a functioning amusement park? Are they on the rides? Is there a merry-go-round
I
that still works?
I
Whee!
think it does. Yes, I think most of it still
Fantastic.
works.
Oh,
Yes.
most of it still works. Oh, great. Oh, great. Okay, great. Okay, so they're riding some of the rides?
Sure. Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Great. Is there food? Like
They can
snack?
definitely go find some.
Fantastic.
They probably have to get some themselves.
Great. There's like a popcorn vendor over there. The vendor is dead, but the popcorn is still good, right?
Maybe a little stale, but sure.
A little stale, but it'll work. It's good.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, fantastic. You see, so we just kind of build it like that. You just kind of think about what they're doing, right? And what they're
Yeah.
talking about while they're doing it. As instead of, in my opinion, instead of these bigger like themes, because then you're only listening to them talk about the bigger things.
Sometimes it's like I keep
Sorry, so
things
your people in your
I know. I'm sorry. I'm trying to
okay.
like mute them out.
Okay.
Oh goodness.
Okay. But how does that sound? Does that help? You just think of your people. Think of your people. Think of your people. Think of your people. Get to know your people. And then the plot, the story will emerge. Where are they at the beginning of your story? Where are they at the end of your story? What do they want? What are they trying to do? You know? And just follow them around. An amusement park. That's so beautiful. I can't hear you. It's okay. Is that cool, Jimena? I'm sorry, you're muted again. That's good. Okay. Fantastic.
Sorry, again, the unmuting. Yes, that is perfect. Thank you. I'm sorry. It is so loud in here. We should have chosen a
It's
different
okay.
place. I'll keep that in mind for the future.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Please come back and keep us posted on how you do.
Yeah, I like that though. I definitely think I get a little heady before I get like I don't know.
Yeah. It's
actually
okay.
like in the story. So,
Yeah, well, I mean, whatever gets you to start, and then you just kind of think like, well, so who are they? What are they doing? What am I looking at? What am I inviting my reader to look at, to read about,
yeah.
and then you can have fun. They're in an amusement park. What fun. And they put them on the rides, and it can be really enjoyable,
Yeah.
you know, like
Okay.
that.
Thank you
Keep
so
keep
much. I really
us
appreciate it.
posted. Keep us posted on how you're doing.
I will. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, Crystal.
Crystal,
Hey, darling.
perfect timing.
Hello, hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. My daughter's home, so that's really
Oh,
nice.
that's really nice. That's
Really-
great.
Yeah. Um, so I just I finished the third draft of about the third draft of the play that I had written, the sermon, the one about
Mm-hmm.
the um I'm kind of at a point where I'm like, let me put it down for now. I don't really know what else to do with it as far as revisions. So I'm like, let me just wait till a few people read it and see what comes from that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I was thinking about the play that I worked on last year
Mm-hmm.
that I showed, and we talked about it. And I got a note, and I kind of I heard the note and understood the note. I just didn't know what to do with it, and that was um, to that it was too compact and
Oh.
to like make it I don't know if he meant longer, but he said make make more room for there to be time to establish the world and the relationships. And I was thinking about it and I was like, well, this play is already pretty huge with like the events that happen and the things that um the relationships that build quickly and then these events that it happens like it's kind of like sort of on purpose.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I was like, if I were to explore that, um, I don't really know like how to go about like making it like what to make the world bigger for the sake of making it longer.
Mm.
He said I guess his exact words were, "This is like an epic. Like this could be bigger and longer." And I just
Mm-hmm.
kind of like that feels like it's gonna take more brain space that I don't know if I have the capacity for.
Right, 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 right,
I just
right.
didn't
Huh.
know because it's not in the final draft by any means, and it
Uh-huh.
is a play that I want to make great. I really want to do it well and
Uh-huh.
everything. I didn't making it longer was not how I was thinking of making it better, but I feel like there's room for that note. I just don't know how to go about it.
Huh.
Writing more or
Writing longer, like more words. It's I don't know. Well, you agree with the note. You don't agree with the note. What do you think?
I think I I I agree with the note in the sense that okay, when I see it, yes, a lot happens in a short amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how to elongate it without diluting the effects of what's happening in the play.
Oh, interesting. Hmm.
And when they say like show the world, I'm like, does that mean like more stage directions of what the diner looks like, or which I tr thought I was very detailed about,
Mm-hmm.
like when they say the world, like the environment, how do I dramatize that?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Does it take place in one place?
it takes place in a couple of places, but
Uh-huh.
the main place is in front of the diner where the sit-in happens. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
it's mo most of the events happen there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. So most of the events happen there, and then you have a couple of other locations.
Yeah, like a concert, a Hazel Scott
Uh-huh.
concert,
Uh-huh. Oh, cool.
um, uh, 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 um like what is it called? I can't think of the word. Convention hall, like a little
Uh-huh,
place
uh-huh,
where people are
uh-huh.
organizing the next movement, the next either sit-in or I can't remember what it is. It's been a little while. Um,
I hear what
uh,
you're saying. So it's like, I mean, and what were the things you were thinking? You said you wanted to do a rewrite and make it better, but that's not quite what you had in mind. What were you thinking of adding to it or taking, how are you thinking of
well,
improving it?
the biggest thing I was thinking about was the accuracy of the setting, the
Oh,
time.
that one.
I
Yeah,
I don't know if you remember that was like you told me pick a
I do.
time and I picked a
I do.
time. And I
Right.
think I told you one of the notes was that some people didn't believe that those events could have happened in the 40s and that one of the characters couldn't be outspoken in the 40s, that maybe
Yeah.
if it was 60s, it would be more believable.
Mm-hmm.
But based on my research, it was very possible. And that's why I wrote
Right.
it in the time. And I wanted it to be in a time that wasn't as like popular as the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so my thought was more about, okay, how do I get more of the setting and the time more injected into the infused in the play. That was my biggest thing
Right.
that's what I need to work on mostly.
So the three places you mentioned are, correct me if I'm wrong, they're public places. Is that correct?
Um,
Outside a diner, a convention hall, and
yeah,
a
it's like I guess it would be more like I guess like a not necessarily a church, but like just a meeting place for people
meeting.
to, yeah. So
So a
that's
diner, a meeting place, and what's the other third? The third
it's
place?
a concert hall, like
A
yeah,
concert. So
yeah,
those are three public spaces. Is that correct?
yeah. But I guess in that time they would have been segregated, with the exception of that concert.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
No, but what I'm getting to is those three places are public spaces. There's no home. There's nobody's home in it, right?
oh yeah,
I'm just trying to
I'm sorry,
drop
there
in,
is,
get no, find a way for you to drop in, incorporate something that has like maximum specificity and economy at the same time. Someone's home or someone's, front lawn or a private space that is not open to all who are paying the price of admission, segregated or not, or a meeting space. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I'm just trying to think of if there's a home, if there's some scenes that could happen in a home, somebody's home,
Mm-hmm.
maybe, or somebody's dressing room. You said Hazel Scott or whatever, some kind of you know
A
space
private.
where just that's private, that's more private. I don't know, just to give a different, because those are three spaces that seem very big. You know,
Mm-hmm.
just trying to sort of kind of focus in on, because a lot of times we say we need to see the world of the show, the world of the movie, the world of the, so we have big scenes with epic, lots of people, scenery, all of that. But sometimes you can show the world of a piece by getting really specific and
Mm,
having a small intimate uh space, you know. So
yeah.
maybe it just gives you a way to sort of, change the perspective or zoom in, come out way out like that, come in like that.
Yes. Okay. I can
Maybe
play
it's
with that.
something to try, and it'll give you fun you can see the characters in a different way because people are different when they're at home.
Yeah. Okay. I
Something
can
to
do
try.
that.
Something to try. I'm always going to give you something to try.
Oh, and I always do it.
See, that's good. You're a miracle. You're a blessing. Really.
Oh,
Mhm.
thank you.
Yeah, you are. Oh, look, Carol's here. Kimmy's here. Look at these people. We've been looking at y'all for years, baby. Happily sharing the space with some people who have been here for a long time.
Yeah.
Hey. Okay, does that help, Crystal? You keep us posted.
Absolutely.
It's going. Mm-hmm.
No problem. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Question for everybody. Do people, is anybody looking at their phone more or looking at the news more now than they were maybe 3 months ago? People are kind of like, you know, yeah. It's interesting. We have to put a little bit of mindfulness in between the and the, you know what I mean? You know, a little sliver of mindfulness. I was thinking about this today with some friends. How you just sometimes when we feel anxious or bored or afraid or curious or worried, we reach for that device or go online and see, what's happening. Um, Looking at stuff which the Stoics, the ancient um, Roman thinkers would call none of our business. If we really can't, things that we can't do anything about, they would call none of your business. Um, we can discuss whether that's accurate or not, but when you fill your mind with it, and that filling your mind with stuff that you can't do anything about creates a sort of sense of agitation and worry and upset that makes it difficult for you to do things that you can do things about, then it's time to sort of put a little bit of mindfulness in between and I'll pick up my phone and see what's going on, you know. So that's helpful. I find that to be very helpful. Anybody else have a question? Lisa's got a question.
Lisa, why don't you go ahead and unmute?
Hi.
Hi, great to see you.
Hi. It's good to be back. It's been a minute. So I have a couple friends. This is not specifically about writing, but well, maybe it is. Who are writers, who are poets. They were NEA fellows,
Mm,
so they got their grants and then didn't get their grants. And um,
mm,
I know. So it's a kind of a super scary time to be an artist, I think.
mm,
Um, or maybe it's not. And I don't know about anybody else or about you, but feeling the weight of speaking up
mm-hmm,
and continuing to create art in
mm-hmm,
the space. And
mm-hmm,
it sort of dovetails what you just said, which was, sometimes you got to put away the phone. I mean, you don't want to be unconscious or not aware of what's going on. But on the other hand, I'm kind of curious about the notion of self-censorship or like, where does this all go? And as artists, how do we behave and what do we do?
mm-hmm. It's a great question, Lisa. Great, and I'm sorry that your friends are going through that, having the wonderful feeling of getting a grant, or writing for the grant, and then getting the grant, and the hopes that are engendered by oh wow, now I'll be able to, and then having the grant pulled away. That's very painful. Um, I'm sure they're wonderful writers who contribute a lot to a lot of people. So I'm sorry about that. Um, yeah, what do we do? I mean, I feel having, we go through phases. Like sometimes, some artists, love to, wag a finger, and tell you like it is all the time. No, those kind of folks. Some people write in very different ways. I think what I feel like we have to do is just keep showing up in whatever way you think is the way you got to show up. So there's no one way to do it, but except to do it. That's the one thing that has to that we I hope continues to happen with everybody who is in the arts, however you define that. You know, if you're a tap dancer, keep tap dancing. It's not like you have to suddenly start writing op-ed pieces for the New York Times. You know, if you're a tap dancer, keep tap dancing. If you're a painter, keep painting. It's not like you have to go and tag, you know, whatever monuments or whatever. Just keep painting. If you're a poet, keep writing. Um, and respond to what's going on in the way that you think is appropriate. Um, I'm not one to tell people, you know, what to be, except I always say, you know, be kind. And no, I have a belief that no love given is ever wasted. You know, that's like in the Bhagavad Gita, you know, to paraphrase the translation, no effort is ever wasted. You know, the idea that no effort is ever wasted. And I believe that no gift of love is ever wasted. And it's important to continue to give love, and not just to, you know, the world or your artist friends, you know, the, you know, big, you know, or the big important people that can, every single person that you meet, you know, the cashier at the grocery store, for example, you know, um, the person that you, I don't know, the Uber driver, perhaps, the bus driver, the subway, the person next to you on the subway, you know, maybe even if they're edgy, you know, you don't know what kind of day they're having. That's the other thing. God, let's give each other a lot of grace. You know, I know, Lisa, you live in Los Angeles, right? So I'm
Yes.
used to the subway. But I mean, I don't know the subway bus situation. But you know, there you are, maybe in traffic. You know what I mean? And you might need to extend some grace to those other drivers to your left, right, front, and back. You know what I mean? Because you know, people are going through difficult times right now, especially in Los Angeles. What with the fires, you know, in addition to all the other things. Um, so just grow your grace, grow your kindness, spread even more love, you know, and do your work. That's why I really wanted, it's important for me to come and show up for Watch Me Work as often as we can all organize it. What with the technology that we have to all organize to make this happen. Um, just keep doing your work. So sometimes if you're on your phone, you notice if you're on your phone or online reading about, you know, what the Stokes would call none of your business. Um, it's good to be informed, but at the same time, Lisa, you know, you got to get your writing done, whatever that might be, you know, because we have to continue to display evidence that the transmission is happening. The transmission is happening, you know, whatever that is. We're still like if you think of like I don't know, you guys, anybody know Horton Hears a Who? That book, Dr. Seuss book. If you don't know it, look it up. Or it's a movie too. Horton Hears a Who. And what did they say? We are here, we are here, we are here. And it's like sometimes, and whatever you think about Dr. Seuss, we are here, we are here, we are here. Um, you know, and that's very important. Does that help? It's, you know, because Lisa, you got to do your work, and whatever it is that you're writing about, you just got to do it.
Mhm.
You know, now's not the time to just go, I'm just going to watch the news like this, you know?
Thank you. I think, I don't know about anybody else, but I think we kind of, you know, our community is really important right now, our arts community, whatever your particular art is. And sometimes I think it's kind of the only sanity left, you know, is the ability to write and to respond, or paint and respond, or tap dance, you
Yeah,
know. So
I know. And not me tap dancing, but I'm gonna applaud the tap dancers. Yeah, right. No, but we just gotta keep doing that. Or if you're someone who likes to attend every protest and all that stuff, if that's your work, if that's your art form, you know, and some people are brilliant at it, do that. You know what I mean? Um, I think it's important just to continue to do those beautiful things. Yeah. So
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Oh my gosh, it's
It's
2 hours.
6:02
I was just
on
like
East
enjoying
Coast.
the vibe. Thank you, thank you, thank you all. I don't have I'm looking around. I don't have the calendar
I
for
have our
where
next
we.
date on Monday, June 2nd. So I believe we're about a month away. Is that correct?
Okay, that would be good. Monday, June the 2nd. So it's going to be a bit of a stretch. Um, and I just got to give a shout out to Thea at HowlRound. Thank you so much. You see this new work development thing across my screen because Thea and I had to log on and together and get it going today because new work development the public is swamped with some other shows.
Developing new
But
works.
developing this, that's right. But Thea, thank you. You're awesome. What a team.
Absolutely.
Thank you
Always
all
happy to
for
be
being
here.
here. Yeah, thank you all for being here. Love, love, love. See you in about a little less than a month. Mwah. Okay, keep writing, keep your work going. Okay, bye.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.